Okay, awesome. So yes, welcome. So before we begin this meeting, we're going to go ahead and introduce our new officer team as well as our awesome sponsor. So for starters, hi, my name is Angelica and I will be your president for this coming year.
And hi, I'm Maria, and I'm going to be the VP for the upcoming year.
Hello, my name is Alice, and I'll be the social director for the upcoming year.
Hi,
And Kayla's not here, but she's the communications coordinator.
And hi, I'm Ananya, and I'm going to be your secretary this year.
And hi, I'm Eugene, and I'll be your freshman ambassador for this year.
And Miss Lane, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hi, I'm Miss Lane. I'm currently the sponsor, and we are looking for a co-sponsor right now, so another teacher that will hopefully be able to also be there for you when you need us.
Right, so if you guys have any questions, these are the people you can reach out to.
Okay, so we have one alumni with us today, Rahul couldn't come, and we got Tony and Tracy, and sorry, my bad, we have 3 alumni now. I completely still think Ethan and Dishing are seniors. Anyway, okay, Sidan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Siddhant. I graduated in 2020, and I was the president in my senior year. That's about it.
Do you want to share your favorite memory or events you did as well?
Yeah, so I did chemistry lab, circuit lab, experimental design, and machines. So some tips, I would recommend reading the rule book before, because that's always important. There's always one person or like one team that always messes up the rules at competition. So remember to read the rule book. Don't procrastinate. So don't start like studying for your events like the night before. And the last tip would be assign tasks like for your partner, and make it like equal. So you should always like trust your partner because it's like a team event, and that's how you get medals. And then I guess my favorite memory, even though it's like cliche, would be competitions. So the time after you finish your events. So usually what we used to do is like play wall ball or get dinner after competitions. So like everyone was relaxed and having a good time. That would probably be my favorite memory.
Thank you. Ethan, do you want to introduce yourself and like the events you did and like favorite memory?
Hi, my name's Ethan. I graduated last year. I competed in chem lab, fossils, machines, water quality, in ornithology, I think, one time. A tip is don't compete in one competition and just take that test for granted and just think it's going to be that format every single competition. I think I did that my first year, and every test was like completely different, and so it's kind of bad. But my favorite memory, I guess, like Siddhant said, the rest time after events during competitions, hanging out with your friends and just talking and stuff. About it.
Thank you, Ethan. How about you, Dishing? Would you like?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Shane. I also graduated last year with Ethan. My events were Circuit Lab, Sounds of Music, and Astrology for one time, and I did it only for my senior year, and it was during COVID, so everything was online, but I could tell you some of my experiences. Overall, everything was really fun. I got to meet new people, meet some new underclassmen that you can't usually make friends with. Um, I guess some tips regarding just overall just be interested in everything that you're doing, especially like in the events that you're doing. So the more interested you are, the more you want to do it, and then you'll actually make time to study instead of just focusing on your other courses. And another tip, just yeah, I guess that's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Dasheng. So we also have Tony and Tracy. They have been with us for 2 years now, but they're leaving. So Tony, do you want to start off and introduce and talk a little?
Sure. My name's Tony. I was the treasurer last year of the club. I did Tracy and I both did in 9th grade and 10th grade. We did anatomy and disease detectives, and then in 10th grade we also took on protein modeling. It's pretty cool. Tips wise, a lot of Scioli people they always ask where do I start with studying? But I said on studying, use the ruler guides as a good starting point. But then there's also the Scioli wiki where it gives us some basic info, and then just talking with other competitors helps a lot. So you get to learn what textbooks we're using or what videos to watch. And then my favorite memory would be regionals in 9th grade. That was really fun. We got second, and then also ate good food. That was really fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Tracy, how about you?
Hi, I'm Tracy, and yes, like Tony, I was also an officer last year. I was secretary, and we did anatomy, uh, disease, protein, and then briefly we did designer genes for one time. I would say for tips, don't procrastinate. If you end up procrastinating, your cheat sheet is like size 8 font, and then you won't be able to find anything on competition day. Also, have a really good partner that you trust and you guys bond well. That way, you guys can bounce ideas off and flow, and also split assignments. So for me and Tony, we split for anatomy because there's 3 sections. We would split skeletal and muscular, and then do integumentary together. And that way, it takes off workload for you guys. And also, I guess another tip is yeah, like Tony said, always look at the Science Olympiad official website because they always post resources, and most regionals use those resources directly on for your tests. And I guess for favorite memory, it would be when we were in person for regionals after competitions and we were waiting for results to be announced. We would just sit around and play games and just interact and talk. So we played Mafia, and I think we just played card games, and it was a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys get to experience that this year.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I really hope we can go back in person and get to enjoy all the things.
All right, thanks, guys. So now let's go ahead and tell all our incoming members what Scioli is. So Science Olympiad is about science. So it's an Olympiad team in which we have competition with 23 different events that all cover different areas in science, like astronomy or fossils. And most of the time, actually, these areas are not covered in your high school courses. So it's a good opportunity to kind of go out and explore more of science if that's what you may be interested in pursuing later years. So what are you going to be doing in the club? So you'll choose a couple of events that you want to participate in, and according to everyone else's interest, we'll assign you to those events. And once you obtain your event, you're going to study and build according to whether it's a study event or a build event. And so, most events will require a cheat sheet you can use during your competition, binders. So you'll be in the process of making those things during the year. You'll be taking practice tests. We'll make that available to you soon. And you'll compete, obviously. We have a lot of competitions in mind, and we're even registering for some right now. And of course we win. We have a great record for that. And we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to meet new people. And the whole purpose of Science Olympiad, again, is to just try new things. So, and I'm really looking forward to this year as we start to do that in person. So on this slide, you can see that these are the events that are being offered for this year. They're all categorized into 5 different categories. As you can see, the first one's life, personal, social science. So those includes events that cover, chemistry, actually not chemistry, biology, like cell biology or botany. And Earth and space science obviously includes science over Earth and space. So astronomy, which is about space, dynamic planet, which is about the Earth. Physical science and chemistry, that's the one that includes chem lab. I think last year this kind of include water quality, but forensics. And then technology and engineering, that's where most of the build events are. So you'll actually be building a structure. So for example, bridges or right stuff, I think you build an airplane, if I'm not mistaken. And then inquiry and nature of science, that one's more broad. So it includes, I guess, the other categories of science. So Codebusters is like decoding codes. So with a team of 3. So yeah, there are a lot of different categories. You'll be able to explore them, and we have some resources to help you with that, depending on what you like. And then we often get this question, do we get to choose what events we enter, or are they chosen for us? And the response is yes to both. You get to choose your events by telling us what you like. And we basically do our best to give you those events. More likely than not, you will get those events, but we make it certain that you get at least one of them. But sometimes we get situations where we really need someone participating in another event. And so we'll communicate all that with you as we go throughout the year.
Okay, so commitment. We know a lot of you guys are going to be junior next year and some are seniors, so that's a lot of work. But I would say commitment, it's not too bad as long as you work every week a little instead of procrastinating till the day of the competition or the night before the competition. So for events, it depends on the type of build you're making. So like for previous years, if we are doing like sounds of music where you have to make an entire instrument, it would take like 2 months. And then if you're doing like an event like ping pong parachute, you can do it in like a week because it's not too bad, but then you have to like make sure you know the parachute and everything and how to fix it. So this year, we're planning to have build sessions regularly twice a week. And that way you don't have to work at home and we can all meet at school and we can all work on our builds and we all can like help each other out instead of just 2 people working on their assigned event. So here it's more going to be like a team effort, like the entire team effort than just 2 people doing the event. And for studying events where you have to do at-home reading, you have to take practice tests and make sure you study every week, maybe like every day, in fact, at least like 30 to an hour, just invest that time. And when you're looking at the real book, divide your topics with your partner, but do familiarize yourself with all the different topics though. Yeah, so, okay, for example, as I don't know, okay, I'll just give an example with code busters. So there are a bunch of different techniques or decode and encoding processes. So specialize on a couple, divided with your your teammates, and then practice those and grind them. But make sure you know how to do the rest of them just in case something happens and they need help. So make sure you focus on your side, but also like have a general idea of the other stuff. And this year we're planning to have study sessions every week, most likely on the weekends. We're gonna get back on that, but that way we can all come together and study together and stay motivated throughout the year. And how is it structured? As I already mentioned, we're gonna have meetings every week. So our meetings are going to be on Fridays, and we're going to have check-ins during 2.5. And the build sessions I mentioned, that's also probably going to be one during the meeting and one during 2.5. So you'll get details once school starts. And we usually go to 3 to 4 tournaments a year. And it doesn't include, or sometimes it does, okay, depending on the year, the regionals. So the invitationals we go to, they are basically important. That's like our main place we go to compete and prepare for that regionals, because that's the competition we really want to do good at, because that's going to advance us to states. And this year, because of COVID and this weird situation that's happening, we're going to have 3 types of tournaments. One is going to be satellite, the other online, and the last one in person. We're going to go in depth about all those 3 in a future slide.
Here are some benefits of joining Silently. So first, you'll definitely get an opportunity to practice your research skills. Members will tend to research a lot on the events that they're responsible for. So like for ornithology, you'll be, so like the person who's responsible for ornithology will research a lot on everything about birds. That includes like borrowing books from the library or looking up videos and then looking up like journals or bird guides, etc. And then the second one is that you'll definitely be inspired by the people around you. So you'll be inspired by teammates, sponsors, and even other competitors from other schools and other teams. So the dedication of people around you will definitely inspire you to work harder. And in Scioli, our members are very smart and talented, and we all work really hard. So that will definitely inspire you to like, study more and have more time to study, etc. And the other one is that all of our events are in teams of 2 or 3. So you will definitely, have an opportunity to do teamwork. So that includes communicating with your partner and assigning tasks to each other, and then being responsible for the events that you're doing, you're competing in. And on tournament day, you guys will be, splitting up the test and the questions and incorporating with each other to, do well and win. And then the other one, the last one is recognition. So I believe Scioli at Cinco is one of the few competitive organizations that focuses on STEM. So it's definitely a great opportunity to get recognized, not only team-wise, but also individual recognitions. So that's definitely, that would benefit your college apps or like you can include it on your resume. So that's very helpful. Next slide, please. And yeah, so after talking about the benefits, why should you join? So first, you will meet a lot of people from even other schools in Houston. Like I've talked to people from LASA at Rice, which was one of our tournaments that we went to. And then we got to meet people from Sci-Fair, CRHS, and that was very, we learned a lot from them. We also talked to them as well. So you definitely get to meet interesting people. And then second, we travel a lot, or we like go to campuses to compete. We've went to Lone Star, Rice, and then this year we're planning to register for the UT Invitational, which is at UT Austin, and maybe the Rice one, and also Seven Lakes. The third reason why you should join is that we host a lot of socials. We don't focus only on like studying and being stressed a lot. Like we also try to gather up and then just play and relax. So we'll be hosting a lot more socials this year. And the fourth reason, of course, is the recognition. Again, we'll definitely win, and we have a really good record, like Angelica said.
So in the past, we've done really good as a team. In 2019, we placed 4th at regionals and qualified to states. The next year, we placed 3rd at regionals and qualified to states again. And last year, we played 3rd at regionals and we were able to go to states where we placed 12th. So to continue on what Alice said, there obviously is recognition. We win by studying, doing well. And this year, our goals for Science Olympiad include a high emphasis on teamwork, learning, and time management. And we are striving to make it to nationals and compete there. And we will have fun along the way.
So to talk about the different forms of competitions, in-person competitions are like the traditional form where we go to the hosting school campuses to take the respective test, usually through the entire day on the weekend. And satellite competition is the one that we haven't tried this last season, which is we have to go to our school campuses. So in our case, to the CRHS campus and compete virtually. And this allows us to compete in build events, which is better than the virtual competitions that we have competed in during the last season. And virtual competitions for the newcomers are the usual virtual ways of competing, in which we use the Scilympia website to take the respective exams in our home. Next slide, please. And our basic plan and outlines for this season would be November, we'll have an in-person invitational at Cypress Falls High School. And for December, we'll also have an in-person one in Seven Lakes High School. And we're also planning on UT Invitational and regional, states, and of course, nationals. That is our ultimate goal.
Okay, so tryout information. So we're going to have 2 tryouts. One is going to be August 27th. I believe that's second week of school, I think. Okay, and the other one is going to be September 3rd. So the August 27th one is going to be for current members, like people who competed this season, like 2020 to 2021. And the September 3rd one is going to be mostly for the newcomers, so the upcoming freshmen, some new members that are joining. And then how do I prepare? So we are going to send a resource packet. It's going to have the rule book and a bunch of different stuff like test material, practice questions, everything in that. And we're planning to send it out next week. And then we're also going to send out rule books, but remember that as all these events are new, the rules are subject to changes. So do not think this is the official rule book, but also you gotta remember that you cannot share this with others because this isn't official. And so yeah, just make sure everything's gonna change along the way, most likely. And then what are the questions going to be like on the tryouts? So it's mostly going to cover general areas of science, so biology, chemistry, physics. So we basically want to see which area you're really good at and what kind of events you would be better at. And then we are also going to have event-specific rulebook questions. So we want to know if you actually read the rulebook. So for example, can you bring a calculator to this event? What kind of calculator can you use? Can you bring a cheat sheet? And then for build events, we're going to have sketch and hypothetical situations. So we could ask you, can you design a parachute? What would your rocket look like? And then for hypothetical situation, we would be like, so let's say you went to this competition and this part of this item broke. How are you gonna come up with a new plan on spot? So those are just the types of questions you're gonna see. And some side notes are that we're going to have 2 teams upcoming year. So last year we had so many people who wanted to compete. So this year everybody's gonna have an opportunity. So make sure you work hard and stay motivated. And the other thing is we're going to have, so Cinco Junior High, they restarted their club again. So 5 freshmen will be competing with the junior high. So basically they're gonna be competing at Division B. So that's another note. And if you have any questions regarding tryout and like how to study, if you want further help, make sure you text one of the officers and we'll reach out. We'll get back to you.
Okay, so that's kind of our presentation. So does anybody have any questions for us? Because now would be a really good time to ask. And while we wait for the questions, if you guys have any, we have 2 QR codes on the slide. So the first one is a sign-in form. It's a sign-in for this meeting, but it's also an interest form. So we really need you guys to fill it out, even if you don't know yet whether you're going to join SciOly, because we have some information there regarding fish camp and what events you might be interested in. And then the second QR code, that's a QR code to a flow chart that our wonderful Eugen made for us, basically for especially the incoming members and current members too. You can use a flow chart to determine what kind of events you might be interested in if you still don't know yet, depending on your interests. So if you're that build person, then this flow chart will tell you what events you'd want to do if you're into that. So let me send a link to that in the chat as well, in case you don't have a QR code scanner. So that's the sign up form. And this is the flow chart. So any questions? And one of the questions we received on the sign-up form was whether the tryout questions from last year are going to be similar to the ones we'll give this year. And the answer is no. Last year, we made it really hard for our members. This year, it's going to be a little bit different. So instead of doing it event by event, we're going to be doing it in categories like at school. So we'll ask biology questions, physics questions, chemistry questions, math questions, maybe. I don't know. We'll decide that. And just to see what you're good at. So if you're like a bio person, that's how we'll know whether you're a bio person. And if you're into builds and you're not into that studying stuff, then we'll also have questions like draw a sketch of this that you'd probably build, or, you know, hypothetical question like Maria said that you would encounter. So stuff like that. And I gathered your emails from the form you filled out before this meeting. So those emails will be used to send out those resource packets that we'll give you, and other links to our drive, for example, like practice tests and the rule book that is unofficial that you cannot share with anybody. And yeah. So any last questions, or else we'll just move on. Okay. Well then, Alice, would you like to go ahead and do the slide?
Yeah, sure. So if you want to learn more about our Scioli, you can visit our website by just searching up CRHS Scioli on Google, and then the first website that pop up should be our website. And then if you haven't already, you should follow our Instagram, which is at cinco_ranch_Scioli. And if you have any questions, you can email us at crhs.scioli@gmail.com, or you can join, you should join our Remind. I'll text the code in the chat, which is at Scioli 2022. You should definitely join our new Remind. We're not going to use our old one until like school starts. And then you should definitely join our Discord as well. The link is on the slide. And if you need it, you can text any of the officers to send it to you. And that's pretty much it. Our main platforms are Discord and Instagram. Not Instagram, Remind, sorry.
All right, and we asked that if you're on the Discord to replace your nickname to your real name, or else we're gonna start kicking people out, because last year we had a situation where someone from a different school was looking at our stuff. So please do that after this meeting if you're on Discord. But other than that, thanks for coming to our meeting. And unless any of the other officers or alumni have anything to add, you guys are free to leave.
If you want to look back at this slideshow, you will find it on our website. And later on, we'll try to also post, we are recording this meeting, so if you want to listen back to it, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch the video again. Other than that, thank you for coming.